In today's gaming news, Nintendo bosses take big pay cuts, a PSN flash sale offers great games for cheap, and the Elder Scrolls Online pre-order bonuses cause a stir. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Force here with your day's gaming news. First up today, Nintendo hasn't been doing so hot in general public opinion and in terms of their sales. In fact, so much so that some of the bosses are actually taking a pretty big pay cut. According to a report from the AFP, Nintendo boss Satoru Iwata is taking a 50% pay cut for the next 5 months. On top of that, some of his fellow executives will be taking a 20 to 30% pay cut. Now, this is all coming amidst reports that Nintendo sales figures have been down about 30% in the last fiscal year. In fact, just sort of to get a visual representation, in the last year, Nintendo sold less Wii U's than Xbox Ones or PS4s in 2 months. Now, I said this around the launch of the Wii U. I think there's just a lot of market confusion as to what this is. In fact, the very fact that it has Wii in the title, I think led a lot of people to believe that it was just some sort of an extension or expansion, additional controller even, just for their original Wii. It just seemed like the general populace really wasn't aware of the fact that this was a brand new console from Nintendo. And then on top of that, there wasn't much of an incentive to buy it. I mean, the only game that I've been super interested in on the Wii U was Zombie U, but we haven't had that huge, big breakthrough title that's really pushed people to buy that console. And hopefully Nintendo can get that first-party stuff out there, because Lord knows there's not much going on in the realm of third-party content for that Wii U, and unless they can try to incentivize developers to produce stuff for their platform, I don't see that changing anytime soon. Next up in news, we've got some great deals for those of you who have access to PSN, a new PSN flash sale lasting from today until Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, includes games like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Gran Turismo 6, Injustice, Killzone Shadowfall, Knack, and more. Now, since I currently don't have a PS3 or PS4, I haven't played many of these titles, but I have played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I have to say, it's quite a good game. So at the very least, I suggest giving that a look. I've also heard great things about Injustice, and I guess that's might be it. I haven't heard many great things about Killzone or Knack, to be honest with you, and those few other games on the title seem pretty middling. But Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, at the very least, gets my recommendation. And last up in news today, we'll be talking once again about the Elder Scrolls Online. I put up a video earlier today, sort of as a response piece to an announcement of a collector's edition. Now, yesterday when there was the leak of the collector's edition, the internet was up in a fury, and then today when it was finally confirmed, I also joined that fury. So let's talk about this here. The pre-order of a collector's edition includes a special white horse mount, some vanity pet, an XP boosting ring for you and a friend, and the last thing, the big kicker, is exclusive access to the Imperial Race. Now, the Imperial Race has been a pretty big part of the Elder Scrolls series for the last few installments. I know lots of people were looking forward to playing that. In the initial announcement of this game, and when they started going into details about the different alliances and the races that would be included, Imperial wasn't in it. In fact, Imperial was supposed to be specifically an enemy race that you fought against as NPCs in Cyrodiil as you tried to take over the Ruby Throne. And, you know, now they're saying, well, it's actually going to be in the game, and if you want to get it, you got to pay extra for this collector's edition. And that's where the problem really lied for me, and it's the fact that this game, having a box price and having a subscription fee, I was okay with. I like those sorts of games. In fact, they even had a cash shop that they announced, but it was just supposed to be for vanity, fun stuff, pets, maybe special mount skins, you know, things that don't really make that much of a difference. But you could argue that a race doesn't make that much of a difference, because really it is almost exclusively cosmetic, with the exception of racial passives, and I think that's where the problem is. I think this is going to put a divide in the community. They're going to see this race that you only have access to by purchasing a collector's edition, and even if their passives aren't that amazing, they're going to say, well, how do I not have access to that? And I think there'll be a perception that their passives are actually, in fact, amazing, even if they aren't. I don't think that ZeniMax is misguided enough to make like overpowered passives for the Imperials. But the fact that they're locking a race behind that paywall in a game that I've already paid $60 for, that I'm paying $15 a month for, It just doesn't sit well with me. And I think the most frustrating part of all, and the reason I sort of went off on a tangent this morning, is because I am looking forward to this game, and I want it to succeed. I desire this to be a quality title, but it's moves like these that make me think they're not so sure about how it's gonna do sale-wise, and they're just trying to pull in some money before they go free to play, and I don't like that. And another thing that really just kicks me right in the teeth is that I've talked to a few of the developers of this game, and I know that there's people who have spent the past 5 years dedicated to making the best video game that they could. And then these business moves come in and undermine things tremendously. And that makes me sad, because as someone who's interested in game development and the process of making games, and someone who realizes how hard they work and how much energy and effort and blood and sweat and tears they put in to making a good game, making what they perceive as a good game, to have business moves make the community think ill of it, it makes me sad. I'm actually sort of welling up a little bit here. It really makes me sad, because if I was in that position, I would be super pissed. But that's just my opinion, guys. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section below about this and any of the other topics discussed here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. Once again, this has been Force, and you have just been force-fed. You know, people have been coming at me all day saying things like, if you don't like the game, just don't play the game. If you don't like the game, just don't play the game. You're missing the point. That's not the point. You know what? Forget it. If you like the game so much, why don't you marry it? Huh? What about that?